More than 140 media organizations are calling on Israel to lift its ban on international journalists entering Gaza. An open letter shared by the Committee to Protect Journalists and Reporters Without Borders says the restrictions are unprecedented in modern warfare. The letter, signed by media outlets including the BBC and CNN, also demands full protection for Palestinian journalists reporting from Gaza. Many news outlets rely on footage provided by local reporters operating under extreme conditions. Jodie Ginsberg is the CEO of the Committee to Protect Journalists in New York. She told me more about the difficulties facing local reporters there.
Well, journalists are not only, of course, reporting the war, but they're living through the war. So they are subject to exactly the same kinds of bombardments, attacks that we've seen on the civilian population more widely, as well as the starvation that those living inside Gaza are experiencing. And in some cases, it appears that journalists have been deliberately targeted by Israeli military, which would make it a war crime. So they have almost no protection, and civilians must be protected during a time of war.
Now, it is Israel that restricts access for international journalists to Gaza. Do you think you can find arguments to convince the Israeli government to allow journalists in?
Well, it's both Israel and Egypt, but of course, Israel controls the territory. It's the de facto occupying force governing the territory, and that's why we have directed this letter to Israel. We have been arguing since October the 7th that international media should be allowed in. It's really vital during any kind of conflict, during any war, that we have as many independent media as possible who are able to communicate to the outside world precisely what is happening in a place. Israel has argued that it's unsafe for journalists to be there, as these organizations who signed up, that include the BBC, CNN and others, have shown. There is long experience of these organizations in covering war, and they are very confident about how to manage risk. So it seems unreasonable, entirely unreasonable, for international media to continue to be banned from the territory 20 months since the start of the war. And such absence is absolutely unprecedented in modern warfare.
Now, media organizations like DW News, for example, are receiving video and photos from inside Gaza on a daily basis since the beginning of the war. Is that material insufficient?
It's not insufficient, but if you think about it, those individuals who've been covering that war have been doing so without any kind of respite for 20 months. Normally, when war correspondents cover war, you go in for, say, a period of 3 weeks. It's incredibly intensive experience, as you can imagine. And then people come out, they have some rest, they have some respite, and then they go back in again. That has not happened in this case. Many of these journalists, in fact, most of these journalists, are not trained war correspondents. They're journalists to whom war has come and are reporting on war because that is what's happening inside their home territory. So it's not that it's insufficient, it's simply that we need as many journalists as possible able to support those locally. And also because not having international media allows Israel in particular to continue to perpetuate a narrative that those individuals inside are not to be trusted. And that allows disinformation, misinformation to flourish.
Wouldn't that be an argument to convince the Israeli government?
So far, it's not been an argument to convince the Israeli government. It's an argument that we have been making for months and months now, that it's really important for people to have as many independent media in the territory as possible to help verify what's happening. Otherwise, we're entirely reliant either on the Israeli narrative or of that of Hamas without these independent journalists. We've tried to make that argument very clearly. We know that Germany's partners, Germany's supporters, the likes of the United States, the UK, Germany indeed, feel very strongly about the importance of a free media and independent media, and have also made these have made these representations to Israel, but as yet we've been unsuccessful. And unfortunately, that helps cement the pattern of censorship that we've seen from Israel more widely in this war.
Thank you very much. Jodie Ginsberg there, CEO of the Committee to Protect Journalists in New York. Thank you.
Thank you.